Projects have to have goals, projects have to have directions, projects have to have the right team, and projects also have to write execution plans. That's why most of our projects, we learn to align with the project plan. And when we're derailing, it's obvious to everybody, and we'll do everything necessary to get back on track. But for most private projects, this is not the case because maybe because of lack of resources or poor planning, we end up derailing from the project plan. So this webinar is going to help you realign your project and get back on track wherever you may seem to be. Okay, so there are basically various concerns for any new project owner, whether it's a residential project, you're doing an office building, you're doing a renovation, you bought a house, or you even just bought land, and you're trying to get to the next stage. So you're concerned about money, how much is going to go into this? I really don't want to waste money. Will it be managed properly, and all that? So that's the first concern. The second concern is time. How do I get this project to stick to time? Because more time means more money, more time means more resources. So how do I do, or what do I do to make sure that I stay on track and time for my project? Then knowledge. It's always good for project owners to have an idea of what goes in where and what goes in when, okay? So that once you get that aligned, then you're sure of your project succeeding. Then finally, every project owner is actually concerned about getting it right. So that is why this webinar is meant for you. It's not a long one. We're going to try to make it very brief so that you pick whatever you need from it and move ahead. So we are IMAC Projects. We've done several projects. We've been in business for about 20 years. We've done a lot of residential and corporate projects. But the reason why we are hosting this webinar is that we find a lot of project owners struggling, and we decided to put some of the experiences together and give out information and knowledge to help you drive your projects better. What is our focus as a firm? We're into project planning. We take project timing and costing seriously. We also look into quality compliance and getting your project team, that's your team, also to get it right at all times. We've worked with several clients, both private and corporate clients, and here are some of the reviews. Okay, so what is this webinar for? Who is it for? Is actually for anybody that is planning to start a project. It may not be now, it may be in the future, or maybe you're about to start one, so this is for you, to get you equipped what to look out for and not to be taken unawares. Okay, so secondly is for somebody who is researching. You're already starting the project, but you need to have an idea of what exactly needs to be done. You may be at the design stage, you may be at the selection stage, you may be at the information stage. So wherever you are, you bought land, you're going to build one day. You bought land, you're ready to build now. You bought land, you're wondering what next step to take. Or you may even be on site and you're having issues. But I just trust that by the time you're done with this seminar or this webinar, you're going to have an idea of how to get your project back on track. Okay, so today we'll be looking at how to create a well-structured and organized building project that can run effectively without stressing you and your pockets. Projects can be very stressful, but if you have a project manager, a good one, they can take the stress off you, because there seems to be a lot of interface between the builder and the local planning authority, and getting what needs to be done on site well, getting the drawings approved, making sure that the drawings don't have error, making sure that there are no cost overrun, the right materials are used, and the quality is not compromised. So most people actually get project managers to run it on their behalf, and every week they meet with them and they keep them up to date with the project. So today, I believe that by the end of this webinar, you're going to have an idea of how to make your project well structured and organized so that it doesn't stress you or your pocket. Okay, so we'll be looking at project phases, mistakes to avoid, what to focus on, and how you can achieve success. Now, what stage are you? Like we said before, if you're just learning and planning, you're very lucky, because you're going to watch this over and over again so that you know what to do where you are and how best to focus on what needs to be done. Okay, you're already doing your concept, you're already doing your design. You are also lucky to be here. So you have an idea of what to look out for. Your designs are ready and you need to move to site. You're welcome. It's good you're here. Then you're about to go to site, you want to build by yourself, I'm buying materials, I'm getting labor by myself. It's also good that you're here. Then your building is also in progress. You started construction work, but you just need more ideas on what to do. That's fine. Or you're stuck and you need help. Just listen in. I'm sure you're going to pick one or two things to help you and get some of your project stress off you. Okay, so the first step is that we're going to look at the project phases. The webinar will just go through all the project phases so that wherever you are, you can pick up what can help you. So have the pre-design phase, which is phase 1, design, then pre-construction and the construction. So they're basically 4 stages. And if you understand these things, it will help you because if you skip any stage, it's going to be problematic. So if you're at the pre-design phase, you know what to look out for. You know what to ask for, you know what to look for, you know the questions to ask, you know what to expect. So if you're not getting it, you can also request for it. Okay, so that's phase 1. At this stage, you're working out what you want to do. So basically at this stage, you may be alone, and it's good you're watching this. Okay, so at this stage, you need to know what you're allowed to do because most projects are overseen by the rights authorities, that's planning authority. Okay, so you need to comply with their requirements as per height, setbacks, building codes, and other things. So you need to have an idea of what those things are, because there are sometimes you may request for what is not approvable. I don't think we should do that. So as much as possible, we need to comply. Then secondly, you need to look at what you want to spend and what are the steps that are ahead of you to renovate or build your future home. So that is what you're thinking here. As much as possible, it's good to journal, list the things you want, to call them building brief. So that is what you need at this stage. Okay, a brief, this is what I want here, this is what I don't want. It's also good to get a scrapbook with pictures of the things you love, so that it's not by the time you're done building, you're like, wow, I actually wanted this. Maybe I wanted a large bathroom and the architect designs a small one, or I wanted a double volume lounge and it wasn't captured well by the architect. Or I wanted, this kind of 2 staircases at your entrance lobby, so those things, just put your pictures together so that once you're ready, those things are captured. So you'll be choosing who you work with here and who might be necessary to involve throughout the project. So if you watch, we'll have some podcasts on YouTube. If you watch it, it will also help you on how to select your architect. We have podcasts and YouTube videos on how to select contractors, how to sign building contracts. So not quite some podcasts that I believe that if you're starting a new building project, please go and listen to those podcasts. It's on iMac Pro Consult on YouTube. Just search iMac Pro on YouTube. You're going to see the iMac Pro Architects. You're going to see it there. Okay, then you also need to understand your site and getting together keys and critical information about your existing site and requirements. So that's all that happens here. What are the things you need to do before you start your project? We're going to put a link to the videos on YouTube so that you can watch some of those videos we said you need to watch before you start your project. They are just short videos, but if you can listen to them, that'll be fine. Okay, so that's all for the pre-design phase. Then phase 2 is all about getting the design right. So at this point, you would have gotten your architect. Please listen to the video on how to select an architect. Listen to the video on how to choose a builder. Listen to them, it will help you a lot. We can't capture everything in this webinar. Okay, so you have to have an idea of what do I want to do on this project? Who do I need as a team? How do I communicate? What are the strategies I need to make this successful? What's the scope? Then how do I select materials, design schemes? At this stage, you'd have selected your architect. They're giving you sketches. You need to be able to understand those sketches. They give you 3Ds and animations and even mood board. So everything here is about design. Please pay attention to the design. I found out that most clients understand the picture, how the building looks. It looks beautiful with all the colors. But when it comes to the plan, they don't understand it. So please ask your architect to take you through a process, that can help you understand the plan so that you know exactly what is being built. Not when you get to site, you're shocked. Oh, this room is very small, but this room is very big. You have clients that will tell you, make it 20 square meters. They don't know what 20 square meters. And by the time you're done, okay, make it 42 square meters. By the time you're done, it's looking like a football pitch. And they're like, well, how do I furnish this bedroom and all that? So you need to get your team to help you experience the spaces you're trying to put together. so that you don't build so big or build so small. Okay, so I hope you're getting me. I hope this is clear. I hope it's really clear. If not, just pause, and go through just rewind the video a bit and just listen through again. Okay, so phase 3 is now the pre-construction phase. You're okay with the designs, and now you feel you're ready to get the final drawings you want to use and build. So those drawings are called construction drawings. At this stage, you should also be thinking about your builder and also the construction method. So we've done a lot of work on this pre-construction phase. We have a course on that. We're going to share the link at the end of this webinar in case you're interested, so that you actually know what to look out for in a construction drawing. I've talked about selecting builders, so you can watch that video, it's free. We'll also put the link. Then also construction methods, the best one that works for you. So we'll have more resources, but just understand here that there are things to look out for at the pre-construction phase, and so that you're not taking unawares. Then finally is the construction phase, where you're already on site, you've gotten planning approval, you've started work, you've engaged your builder, giving him advance payments, and he's on site. He needs to start work. So he's setting out, doing excavations, he's meeting the government requirements and all that. Now, at this stage, we don't want things to go wrong, because if they go wrong, all you'll be doing is you're trying to put out fires, trying to minimize damage. Please get stage 1 to 3 correct, so that we'll avoid problems with this stage completely. Get good builders. Everybody's not a good builder. And the truth is that their buildings are collapsing these days because people are not meeting up with requirements. If you look at reinforcements now, most of them are not even, they've reduced them in sizes. So there's no way the tensile strength will be the same. So when you now have a builder that compromises on quality of materials or what the engineer has specified, they're using something less, it's going to be a problem. So it's good to select builders that have integrity and also follow due processes. We have a checklist for what to look out for when you're building. We're going to say, I will post the link at the end of this webinar, so that if you're interested in that checklist, you can also pick it up. There are things you should look out for when your building is going on site. There are things you should look out for when you want to start building. I think we have a checklist here. So it's we'll post the link at the end of this webinar. So like we said before, we'll also share the link, the Home Builders Fundamentals. It's a course that will provide you fantastic templates for most of these phases we've talked about. But please, like we've said, understand these 4 phases. You must go through them. Okay, so, and if you've gone through these 4 phases, then you have a good project plan. You have a plan for your pre-design, you have a plan for your design, you have a plan for your pre-construction, you have a plan for your construction phase. So these 4 levels, you must have a plan for it. And the good thing about this is that if you have a good architect by your side, if you have a good project manager by your side, then you'll be doing well. Please don't dump them, because sometimes you're like, I bet, can I pay an architect? You can. Because whatever you're paying them is just a little percentage of whatever cost that is going to go into your construction, which if you don't do, oh my God, the impact of errors on your construction site compared to what you're running away from paying is not comparable. So please just make sure you have a great project plan, and you also have a great project team. Okay. Now, so what does having a great project plan mean? You know what to do each step of the way. So your project manager or your architect is guiding you. So you can anticipate what is coming up at his phase, so that you're not wasting time on money making wrong decisions. 2, you know when to take those steps and when to make specific decisions and when to bring in specific professionals on board. Please get that checklist. It's going to help you. We'll put the link at the end of the video. Then you need to know who to ask or who to get help from, so that you have the right people in your corner. I've talked about the video for selecting an architect. In case you don't have one, we're going to put the link at the end of this video, so that you know what to look out for. Then lastly, you know what to believe. Okay, you're not navigating the process naively. That is why you're watching this webinar. You now have an idea of who to look for, what to look for, what to do, when to do it. So you get informed, you get educated to be the driver of your project. Okay, so what do we mean by having a great plan, project plan? It means that you understand and you're ticking off the checklist for the 4 stages listed earlier. So as you were listening, you can actually go back, and as you're listening, you can create a checklist for yourself, things I need to do, and make sure you do them when you're starting your project. But if you want a more comprehensive checklist, please check the links on that. You see the link, for the checklist for starting your building project. So it's going to help you a lot as you navigate through your projects. Good. Okay. So, like we said, these are the major issues that most project owners have, and we've gone through them. You need to know what to do. You need to know when to do it. You need to know who to ask for help, and you need to, know who to believe. Now, we promise we're going to explain to you some expensive and serious mistakes that you can avoid. There are about 6 of them if you're starting a new building project. So you can also add this to your checklist. We talked about setting up a plan that will save you money and stress. Okay. Now, the first one is making selections. When we say selections, it actually refers to the materials, the building materials you're planning to use, finishes especially. Okay. If you listen to some of the YouTube videos we had before, there was one of them we told the story about a client that specified, the ceiling wasn't really specified. So 2 contractors quoted for the projects. He didn't even know what they quoted for. There was nobody to advise him. And it was when of course, one contractor was cheaper, the other one was expensive. So it was when the cheaper one started doing ceiling, the cheaper one was doing PVC ceiling. And he called us and it was like, please, I need help. I don't understand what is going on here. And we said, what exactly? And we came in. And we called, so by the time he went through the story, the history, he gave us the bills. And when we went through the 2 bills, we found out that the cheaper contractor, of course, quoted for PVC ceiling. And the better contractor quoted for POP ceiling. So you can now see what led to the difference in cost and all that. So he didn't make his selection. So it didn't even reflect in the bill. And it got him into trouble because he had to pull out all those ceilings. He removed all of them and he had to use POP. But meanwhile, money had been spent. So these are very serious mistakes. So before you start, you should be looking at what kind of doors am I using? What kind of windows am I using? Where is that? Specifically, where is it coming from? Is it China? Are they imported profiles? Are they Nigerian profiles? Even your tiles, where are they coming from? Are they Nigerian, Spanish, or Italian? Every single thing. Your cables, where are they coming from? Your tiles, where are they coming from? Battery fittings, you need to be detailed. It's not just getting a plan. I'm telling you the truth. So because this is actually the mistake, because you may actually forget it. But when it's now time to start installing them, the contractor is giving you what it priced. No. Okay, so I need to become an issue. So that's issue number 1. Then 2 is when we don't establish our project cost on time. Okay, we have a client that, we had one in the past that just knew he wanted big spaces. And we kept telling him that these spaces are too big. By the time we're done, of course, the house came out very big. And because he didn't give us his budget, because if he did, we would have told him that, look, this building, this is the cost. So it was by the time when we're almost done and he started having funding issues, that was when he now opened up and said, look, that this was actually my budget, and all that. So it's not good to do that. Please let your designers have an idea of your budget so that they can either phase the project or find a way to design it to suit your budget. Okay, so that's number 2. So number 3 mistake is that you select your builder unguided. You do that by yourself. Please don't do that, except maybe you have somebody who you know very well, and maybe you have references and you have seen the works they've done and they're good quality. That's fine. But just to go into the open market and shop builders, don't do that. So let your architect, your project manager help you select a builder. Then lastly, number 4 is you don't understand designs and drawings. Please, if you don't, speak out, okay? Tell your architect to take me through. I don't understand these things you've drawn here. Show me how it works. So they can do interior renders for you to show you how each space works so that it makes more sense to you. Then you're planning to, number 5 is that you're planning to make change on site. Please don't plan to make change on site. It's not going to work. Don't make change on site. It will cost you a lot more money. Then 6 is that you're not getting costing advice, okay? you're just building and your builder is just telling you, no problem, we can do this, we can do that. By the time you're done, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And sometimes if it's a lot of money, you can actually get stuck and not complete the project. So that's what happens here, okay? So what do you do? What do you focus on? And what do you consider as success when you're doing your projects? Okay. Okay, so for whatever level you are, okay, so we said what do you consider as success or what do you focus on? So I'm going to go through the different levels so that you know what levels you are and how you can be helped. If you're just starting, that's the concept phase. Okay, so at this phase, like we've said, we're just running through all we've said before. You need to have an idea of what you want to do and write it down. There's something called the mood board. Mood board, it just includes pictures or the color scheme of the things you want done in your building. So we'll put it down. Then what are the possibilities? Okay. Now, I want to do a new project, but I think I'm after, I need somewhere to live, but I also need some income. So can I do terraces? Can I do semi-detached? What works best for me? So that's what happens here. Concept phase, okay? So you tick all this for the concept phase. Then when you're not ready, you can get to the kickoff stage, which is the when you get in your consultant, possibly an architect, you know, and he will now help you develop your building brief based on your requirements. Then he will help you set up a project team, then help you work with your budget, which you should know. So that is what happens here, okay? Then from here, we can move to the design stage. At this stage, the architect will start to communicate to you the design in pictures and also get engineers involved now to make the building buildable, mechanical, electrical, structural engineer. Most people assume that once you call an architect, the architect will do magic. No, the architect has to work with an engineer, structural, mechanical, electrical, and possibly a cost consultant. So whenever they throw in their bills, understand that there are about 5 people trying to make your building work. You know, the building process is a complex one, but people don't know because all you just come and see people building, but there's a lot of people involved in getting your building project successful because they will need to monitor what has been done, you know, and all that. So at this design stage, there's a lot of communication going on and reviews going on and a lot of documentation. Okay, so I will go to ready to build. If you're ready to build, at this point, you're looking at getting your permits, getting your builder, getting your checklist, getting your contracts. Okay, that's what you need to look out for here. Then once you're ready to, once you're now building your site, you must have your checklist, what to look out for. Okay, then now you'll have a supervising team. You can supervise by yourself. Get your supervising team. Your project architect or project manager should run that with you with the rest of the engineers. Then make sure their documents, everything is documented. Approvals are documented. They are signed off. Instructions are signed off. Okay, so there's a lot that happens here. Then the last one is your stock. If you're stock, you can also get on stock. So just get advice, get information, get consultation. We offer free consultation too. The link will also be shared at the end of this webinar so that if you need help, okay, you can also receive free consultation. I think it's about 30 minutes. So where are you now? Are you at the concept stage? Are you at the kickoff stage? Are you at the design stage? Ready to build, you're already building or your stock, whatever stage you are, just go through all we've said and the list of things we have also put down and get your project working. So what next? You can take the home builders course. It will help you a lot. And that home builders course will help you overcome the overwhelm and gain clarity so that you can confidently make crucial decisions that goes into your project. Your building team has to work with you, okay? So you're going to set up a building team. That's what this course will help you to set up a building team, like we're saying. Please set up if you can set up a building team without the course, that's fine. But if you can't, then I think you should just take the course. To help you a lot, okay? Then we also try to master the ability to maximize and stay within budgets. Now, you can also do that by yourself because before you start the project, the QS would have given you what we call bill of quantities. You can stick to it and it works. So this webinar is just give you an idea of how to stay on track. So if you can do that, that's fine. But if you cannot do that, then you can also take this course so that it shows you exactly what you look out for and how to stay on track. So this is the link. It will be shared under the video so that you can click it and access it. So like we said before, you can get a 30 minutes free project consultation. That's the link there by your right. Okay, if you click it, you can just select it there, it's free, okay? Then we have the home builders course is also there, so you can also select that. Then we talked about the ultimate checklist for managing your building project is also there. So we want to thank you for your time, and we hope you learned a lot. And like we said, please don't forget those 4 stages. That's the most important thing. If you can remember those 4 stages and what goes on there, and comply with all that we said you should comply with, then I'm sure you'll be good with your project. So if you need any information or whatever, please remember to just sign up for our free consultation. It's there, linktree/iMac projects, and somebody will get in touch with you to help you resolve whatever issues you're having. So if you have any questions, you can just type it in the comments and somebody will reach out to you immediately. Thank you.